Hey guys, just want to see if I am live. See here. Yes, I'm live. It's been a really long time since I've done a live stream. This is really weird. As always, there are technical difficulties. Well, they're really not technical difficulties. I need to stop calling them that. I'm just really inept with this whole live thing. So that's really what it is. But hi guys, say something in the chat if you're joining me. Oh, I'm so excited for this. Right in. It's been so long since NaNoWriMo. I have missed these. And I'm not going to lie, I also did it as a way to motivate myself to get some writing in some point this week, because this week has been a complete fail. So first things first, I wanted to catch up with you all. How have things been with your current works in progress and with your writing? How are things going for you guys as of January 2019? Because things have not gone according to plan for me. It has been, I don't want to say it's been hard, because I'm actually in a very good place in life. I'm very happy. I have a lot of peace and joy. I just don't have time to create. And my creative side is sorely starved, right? And since I was promoted at work, my life has been consumed by work. And so my work-life balance is completely off. I find that I'm spending more time at work than I am at home. And even though that's somewhat normal for most of us that have a job that we go to each day outside of our writing, outside of what we love to do and our passion, I found that work is consuming me to the point where I'm thinking about it when I'm even not at work, which I don't like. Never liked that. But I also really enjoy this work that I'm doing, so it doesn't feel like a bad thing. It doesn't seem like it's bad, but it is bad because it's standing in the way of me finding time to write. And I could write when I'm tired, but I've never been one of those people that can push past exhaustion and write anything. Nothing good creatively comes out of me in an exhausted and not well rested state. So Serpentine Creative's letting me know I host a local write-in every week, but it was canceled today because of snow. Nice. That is awesome. So in your community, you host one, I'm guessing? Hey, Queen and Sheena. Good to see you. It's been a while. Looks like Carly's stuck at a fight scene. Super behind. Oh, I'm incredibly behind on editing my novel from NaNoWriMo. And I haven't even completed that novel yet. So I haven't even gotten to the editing part. And I've been stuck researching, and I came up with a timeline for myself, but I'm already slightly behind on the timeline. I was going to spend X amount of time editing, and then was going to finish the first draft and then redraft and all these things that I wanted to do in all this specific, time frame. And it looks like that's probably not going to be the case now, because the research portion for me has been like going down a rabbit hole. So I start researching one thing, and then it leads me to something else, which then leads me to something else. It's just constantly, it's like having all those tabs open on your browser. Some people like to have one window open, one tab at a time, maybe two, maybe three. And then the rest of us like to have about 15 tabs open. We may even have 3 windows open. We're going back and forth. So I would compare that to how my research has been going for this novel. It's pretty much like having 85 million tabs open at the same time, because once I research something, it's led me to something else, which has led me to something else, and then this, and then it's insane. So that has been difficult, because it's been hard for me to narrow in and focus in, because I feel lacking. That's what it is. I feel lacking overall in my knowledge of what I'm trying to get. So I can't pinpoint what is actually important and what is erroneous, because I'm so uneducated on what I'm researching overall, that everything seems important, and I don't have the capabilities to be able to focus in yet and say, no, this is what I need, the rest is erroneous. So I'm hoping to get to that place. Let's see. Tiredness is a creativity killer for me, for sure. I don't know how other people do, but Queen and Sheena said, I had to move down my rewrite of NaNoWriMo to March. I've started using Subscribestar for some of my articles and also on submission freelance wise. So I'm writing but need more novel writing time. Same. KK Burke's in the house. Oh, great. It's good that you're about to start a new chapter. I wish I could say the same, but I'm happy for you. Charity writes books. I've been sick lately and my mental health has been suffering, but editing is a slow process regardless of all that. It's always difficult to balance things when, you know, you're suffering or you suffer from any type of mental health issue, anxiety, depression, etc. It's always hard. Yeah, I don't know how people do it. And I know a lot of writers, you know, a lot of the writers that we put on pedestals, a lot of our classic writers in different genres throughout time, a lot of them were on drugs, you guys. A lot of them were on drugs. Just like, I can't. Hey, Polo. I'm glad that you're enjoying this, but I'm definitely wanting to encourage and motivate us to keep pushing forward, keep doing this, you know, to kind of have a support system for one another. And I've missed the write-ins since Nano. I have really, really missed the write-ins. They were such a motivator for me. They really helped me to just push through. And it was great to connect with you guys, talk to you guys, and not feel so isolated and alone. Writing is such an isolating endeavor that it can often feel as if we are in a bubble by ourselves on a lone planet out in the middle of the galaxy with no one around and no one to call for help or support unless you belong to a writers group, which I know some of you do, or you host one. Like Serpentine Creative was saying, you know, you can often feel very alone. So I really, really benefited from doing these lives during NaNoWriMo in November. And it was my, you know, my deepest wish to continue that into this year. And I will be having a write-in every single month. So this will be February's write-in, and they will always be on Wednesday nights. It was 8 p.m. tonight, but I'm trying to go for 7 p.m. I want to do it earlier so more people can join in, but we'll mess around with the time and we'll kind of see what works for all of us. But it will be on the last Wednesday of each month. So Marches will be on the last Wednesday, Write With Me Wednesday. So I'm really excited. Let's see. Queen Sheena said, drugs and alcohol can enter that stressful writing life. I would rather avoid that. Me too. I'm not someone who does well with, you know, things that alter my, you know, my normal state of being. I'm a control freak. I mean, outside of the health risks and, you know, my morals and values and all that, I just do not like doing too much of something that is going to alter my natural state of being, alter who I am, and to the point where I'm out of control. I also don't do well with addictions. I have a very addictive personality. A lot of, you know, mental health issues and disorders, drug abuse runs in my family. So it's just not even something I want to even tap into. Charity says, I've been working on my novel for 3 years and it has been very lonely. Last Nano, watching your write-ins have motivated me again. Thank you so much. And you have motivated me so much. You have no idea. So I'm glad that we could do that for one another. Serpentine Creative says, I have one of those bright blue energy lamps. I got it to help me cut back on my coffee habit, but it helps me push an extra hour of work when I need it. That might be something I have to look into. I have actually been looking into a lot of crystals. I've been doing a lot of research on crystals and the different energies that they can bring into a space. I've been doing a lot of research on different herbs like sage and just different things to help me. And also, I'm glad you mentioned cutting down on your coffee habit because I have a terrible coffee habit. And I've noticed that it just really dehydrates me. And when I drink more water, I have more energy. And when I have more energy, I can find more time to fit writing in daily, which is my goal. I would love to write daily, even if it's just a tiny, tiny bit. And so far this year, I have failed epically on the whole writing daily thing. So the point of this is we want to definitely get some word sprints in at some point. Let me just open up my document here. I've actually been working on quite a few things, which may surprise you guys. I've been doing research on my NaNoWriMo novel. Not on it, but background research to help with the story. I've also been working on a play that I started writing. Oh my gosh, I started writing this play in 2012. And it's a special project that I'm doing for my channel, which I will not announce right now, but we'll definitely announce it when it's time. So it's in conjunction with a special project that I'm doing for this channel. And that has motivated me to get back into writing this play, and just how much I love plays. I love reading them. I love being in them. You know, when I was doing a lot of acting in my younger years, all throughout high school and all throughout my undergrad and college, I went to school for acting. So it's my passion. The theater is my #1 passion and love, even before, not necessarily before writing, because I discovered writing before acting, but there was a period of my life where acting was my #1 passion, even more than writing, which is really interesting to think about. But I just fell in love with playwriting. I took some playwriting courses in school, and I don't know, that art form just really speaks to me. I really think that being able to convey emotion primarily through dialogue is a very useful skill if you want to be a novelist. So for those of you who are struggling with your dialogue, I definitely highly encourage you to read plays, do some research, read good plays. I can definitely recommend you some great playwrights. And I definitely want to talk way more about plays on this channel when the time is right and I have time to organize my thoughts. But I have gotten back into this play. It's called Love Came Down the Mountain, and I am obsessed with it again. And it's so interesting to see the ideas that I had back in 2012. And there are a lot of themes within this play. The #1 being race relations and racism in America. And it's so crazy to see where my head was at in 2012, my ideas and the way I was expressing them, and to read that back now, to read all the old scenes that I wrote, and to realize how much I've grown and developed as a person, how much my ideas have either changed or stayed the same or deepened. I don't know. It's pretty crazy. I'm enjoying that. So far, I haven't felt the need to revise. That's another thing. When I write plays, I do not feel the need to revise as much. I don't know what it is with playwriting, but when I write it out, Teddy, Teddy's over here running lives as per usual. He's mad because I wouldn't let him jump up here on the bed, which he's still trying to do. Oh, he just got up here. But anyways, so I've noticed that when I write plays, I do not feel the need to revise as much. In fact, I almost do little to no revision whatsoever. And even when I go back and read through it, I do not feel the need to revise it, which is a miracle for me. Let's see here. Charity says, oh no, Queen and Sheena 1, encouraging Charity, awesome. HTHTV3, study up on, oh yes, I need to screenshot this. Okay, Hemohim, Moringa, and Maca. Maca, I've heard a lot about Maca. I think I have some Maca pills actually for more energy naturally. Okay, I'm definitely going to do some research on that, because that is my #1 goal for this first half of the year, is just to bump up my health and get my energy back up. I also noticed that when I got massages regularly, which I did for about almost 4 years, I got massages regularly, primarily because I worked at a massage place. And so I got them either for free or for very, very cheap. And that was a great time in life for my physical health, because I was getting at least 1 to 2 massages a month. And I noticed that my mental health was vastly improved. My physical health improved. My metabolism was great. I slept great. Just everything was wonderful. So I highly recommend massages. I remember that it was so easy for me to write back when I was getting massages regularly. It just flowed. It's because the mind to body connection is a very real thing. And because my body was loose and limber and relaxed, I didn't have aches and pains. Like right now, as I talk, like, oh, my whole back hurts because at work, I sit at a desk, for 8+ hours a day. Definitely those plus hours. I usually work like a 9-hour day, 9 to 12-hour day. And those massages that I was getting really helped to open up this, while this was relaxed and easy and not in pain or achy, opened up this so I could really, I don't know. I talk about it all the time to people in my real life, but mind to body connection is really, really a real thing. And that's another thing I recommend for just, self-care for writing and to help with your writing. Not only do I recommend plays for, help with dialogue and even just scene setting, I also recommend massages, 100%. More advice. When you make your morning smoothie, add them to your frozen fruit and hemp milk. Definitely going to remember that and do some research. Okay, so let's get ready to do our first sprint. This is what we all came here for. You're right. The professionals administrating those massages have healing hands and good heart. Absolutely. Massage therapists are heaven sent, honestly. Okay, so let's go ahead and get ready to do our first writing sprint because I want to keep this short and to the point tonight. I know we all have lives and things to get back to. So we're going to do 2 15-minute writing sprints. Let's do this first one for 15 minutes. We'll start it's 8:04 right now. I'm going to go ahead and set my timer for exactly 15 minutes. Dun, dun, dun. And let's see. Exactly 15 minutes, 8:05. Okay, everyone get your cerebral hedonist. Yes, girl. Hey, girl, you finally made it. It's so good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Okay, so we're about to start. Everyone get your work in progress. Whatever you need, whether you're handwriting or whatever. It's 8:05. We're going to start at 8:06 just to give everybody a second to get their document in order. If you have to open up a document, whatever you need to do, it's about to go down. I need to back up a little bit. All right, I'm ready. 8:05 still. I got to create some room for my laptop. 8:06. Oh my gosh, that happened so fast. Okay, I'm starting the timer now. And go. I was just reading Thrifty Simplicity's comment. Thanks, girl. Thank you so much. Six minutes and 30 seconds left, guys. 4 minutes, 20 seconds. Hey, Books and Baking. How are you? Hey, Samantha. I'm going to answer your question in just a second and ask you some questions too about that. We got 1 minute, 9 seconds left of this writing sprint. So. Oh my God. This is such a triggering sound. Anyone else feel the same as me? It reminds me of that morning alarm. Let me just stop it. Whew. Make my heart jump. Okay, let's see. All right, so Samantha's question, and then we'll talk about our writing sprint. Author mentor. So Samantha asked, is anyone here submitting to author mentor match this round? And I have a question. for Samantha. What is that? Because I do not know what that is, and it looks like I am not alone. Yeah, we all hate that sound. That alarm sound? Oh my gosh. I hate alerts of all kinds as well. Triggered. Oh, all right, I'm gonna set my computer down. Okay, so Samantha, if you could answer, what is author mentor match? That would be wonderful. Until then, the Twitter thing, I need more explanation. So how was that writing sprint for everybody? Oh, I'm getting answers to my questions. Like pitch wars, except you get matched with an author. Samantha, okay, thank you so much for that information. And then Samantha says it's a program started by Alexa Dunn. Oh, I love her YouTube videos. It's a professional mentorship program. Designed to pair professionally published authors with aspiring authors, I'm guessing, or writers. That's interesting. I've never heard of it, which is no surprise because I'm not very active on Twitter. So, and by not very active, I mean I'm not active at all on Twitter. So that's probably why I didn't know what that was. That sounds like a great idea. No, I am not submitting to that because I don't even know. I would have to think. There would be a whole process in my brain. I would have to think that through and have to look at what I would submit. It's just, but I think it's a wonderful thing, and it's maybe something I might actually consider possibly trying out in the future. Charity says, I deleted around 60 words. I'm surprised I edited half a page. I need to do these more. Yeah, I actually really enjoy writing sprints, and I don't know why I don't do them more. And fun fact, the NaNoWriMo page on YouTube still does write-ins. I don't know how often, since there's no NaNoWriMo going on right now, but if you do go to their YouTube page, you can set a reminder for the write-ins that they have. I don't know if it's once a week or every couple times a week. I'm not sure, but if this is something that actually helps you and you want to write with other people, a ton of people attend those write-ins, so you can definitely check those out. Let's see. Samantha says, okay, so they pair with aspiring authors to help them with querying. They help you clean up your manuscript and everything. Really, girl? Okay, they don't edit for you. They just help you. So Carly says, I managed to get 399 words and my fight scene is starting to take shape. Word! I feel so proud to be a part of you getting through this fight scene. So happy. Samantha says, sorry for the disjointed answers. My computer is being difficult. You're fine, girl. So for the sprint, you wrote 1.2K words. That's so good. And honestly, I don't know how many words I wrote. I would need to check. I'm back to writing on Google Docs. No matter what happens in life, I always come back to Google Docs, you guys. Always, always. Let's see. How many words did I write this go around? Okay, so it looks like I wrote 614 words. And really, I wasn't writing anything that I'm going to use or keep. I was writing out where like background information that I need for this play and things that I haven't thought through. So let's see. Okay. Likened to a writing accountability partner. Okay, so more discussions about this Twitter thing. I already can't remember the name of it. The matching aspiring authors to professional authors thing. So Samantha explains more. You submit a polished manuscript and they'll advise you through the publishing process. Queen Sheena 1, I think that's how you pronounce your name, says, I got 312 words. Great, since I had to stop for about 5 minutes to help out my mom. That is really good. Okay, so yeah, this writing sprint was good. I got a lot of just background information on this play, and so I'll tell you guys a little bit about what Love Came Down the Mountain is about, and where to begin. So it's basically a story that takes place in the early, it takes place, it has different times that it takes place. Different scenes go back and forth in time, as far back as 1995, which is really not that far back. And then there's present day, whatever present day is when the play is being put on. I'm trying not to date it too much, but basically the play is about a town that is in the depths of the mountains. And I think did I chose the Smoky Mountains? Which mountain range did I choose? I don't even know. I need to make up my mind, because when I was writing it, I couldn't decide what mountain range I wanted to do. So I just made it very vague. So that's one of the things I kind of need to figure out. But it's this town that is in the depths of a mountain range, up a mountain range. I keep saying the same thing. This is how you can tell I'm sleep deprived. And the town was founded by runaway slaves. And that's the history and kind of the legend of the town. So the town hosts primarily the descendants of American chattel slavery, and then other people who have moved to the town throughout over time because they want to get away from conventional society. They're rebels. They just go up the mountain and stumble into the town and decide to stay. So these are the residents of the town, but primarily the descendants of American chattel slavery live in this town. And the legend goes that they escaped and went up into the mountain and lived in the caves to escape the slave catchers at the time. And they used their spiritual African ancestral religion, which gave them certain spiritual gifts and powers to avoid detection from the slave catchers and to kind of hide themselves and mask themselves within these mountain caves. And then over time, they ventured from the caves once they realized they were safe, and began to build homes in the mountain, began to build a society infrastructure. They were completely self-sustaining. They fed off the land. They learned the soil, started growing things, started figuring things out. They created tools and mostly tools and weapons from crude materials, much like Native Americans have done or did do for centuries. And yeah, so that is the background history of this town, and that is where my play takes place. The town is kind of interesting. It's going through a transition because you have a lot of young people in the town who end up leaving because they're curious and they want to explore the world, but they always come back. And I'm kind of toying with the idea that you have those who came into this town because they wanted to escape conventional society. But these are people with social security cards, birth certificates, all these governmental tracking documentation, but they just decided that they wanted to leave conventional society behind and just fall off the map. And then you have the generational residents of this town, right, whose families have been there for generations, and these people do not have birth certificates, the majority of them, because they were not born in a government regulated facility. They weren't born in hospitals or anything like that. They were born at home in this mountain town. A lot of them were, and they used their midwifery African traditions to bring their children into the world. So you have a lot of these residents don't have birth certificates or social security cards or anything like that. So it's very interesting to think about it, because when I first started writing the play, this was all the information I had in the back of my mind, but I didn't think too deeply into it because, to be honest with you, this information doesn't really affect my characters all that much as the play is going along, but it's just good to have this background info. So I was just writing it out more, trying to figure out plot holes and kinks and things that you don't think through logistically. But if someone else is reading the story, they might have questions and be like, that doesn't make sense, or why is that happening? And that's not logical, and that would never happen. So I'm just writing things out and trying to flesh things out for myself. Let's see. HTHTV3 sounds a little like Nanny and the Maroons of Jamaica. I have never heard of that. What is that? Is that a novel? Samantha says The Great Smokies. Yeah, maybe The Great Smokies. I need to figure it out. Sounds like The Village. You guys are naming all these things I've never heard of. I got to check this stuff out. Where did midwifery originate? I don't know, but, you know, coming from a strong African tradition, and more specifically, my parents are from two very distinct Nigerian tribes. My dad wasn't born in a hospital. You know, he was born in the village. All of his brothers and sisters, like on my dad's side, his parents are dead and gone now, but you have my grandfather, and he was the chief of his village, and he had 7 wives. And all of the wives, all of their children were born in that village. They were not born in any type of hospital or anything like that, because the villages are so far away from the towns. And it's like that to this day. So my dad was born, you know, in the village with the help of a midwife. So I think it depends on the culture. I think that the midwife tradition is called a different thing in every culture. It's called something different, and there are different ways of going about it, different traditions that come along with it, different ancient practices that come with bringing life into this world. And depending upon where you're from, there are different medicinal herbs that are used, different techniques. I mean, it's insane, but it's kind of cool to think about. Let's see. Ooh, the chat's going a little fast. Thanks. You like the concept? Yeah, the concept. I don't know. I don't know where I got it from, but you guys are naming all these other similar works, and now I'm really curious to check those out. Isn't there a town founded by Black people in Florida? I'm sure there's more, says Charity. I'm sure there is. Nanny of the Maroons is one of Jamaica's national heroes. Love her. I need to look into that. The cerebral hedonist midwifery is a thing that's actually making a comeback in modern society, but you always had the one woman in a lot of cultures who would come to your house to help you give birth. Yes, and it was considered a spiritual thing and a spiritual gift in a way, because there was something intuitive. Yes, of course, she studied, and many times, you know, midwives ran in her family, and it's something that was passed down daughter to daughter, generation to generation. The knowledge was passed down, but it was also considered a spiritual gift because there was a knowing that came with it. Like, you just knew what to do. So let's see more information on this Nanny and the Maroon story. Maroons were a tribe. Dreadlocks is said to originate with them. Think Bob Marley types. Queen Nanny was their leader. They lived in the mountains of Jamaica to escape colonialists. Ooh. Bobby Hemmett spoke on them in a video once. Okay, I definitely need to do more research about this. Midwives even aided in abortion-like practices if the baby was sick. They did. Keep doing your research. I can't wait to hear more and watch your progress. Thanks, Charity. Erykah Badu is a doula too. Come to find out there's death doulas too. Let's see. Erykah Badu calls midwifing a major love due to being part of the welcoming committee, an exciting committee. Yes, I mean, when you study it, especially when you go to all these different cultures, it's so interesting. And I feel like there's way more to it than we in Western society and modern Western society truly grasp. Like us everyday people that, that are, mostly uneducated on such things. But midwifery is making a huge comeback. I know that a lot of people are choosing to have home births with midwives and doulas by their sides, and they feel more comfortable doing that. So let's see. Books and baking. Are you my long lost twin? It's possible. You're Sri Lankan. Drop your Instagram handle in the comments, and I'll go follow you. Okay, so it's 8:36. I'm thinking we can do one last sprint for 15 minutes, and then we done. We good. And that's a good 30 minutes of writing today. And that's more than some of us, me, have done all week. So I'm about to set the timer. Again, everybody go get your works in progress ready, honey. Let's see. Ready, honey. I have got to get sleep tonight. I am running on fumes. Okay, I know how my iPhone works. Okay, So 15 minutes, I'm just going to start it now, honestly. I'm eager to get back to this. I left it on a good note. I just started it. Let's go. don't mind me just reading over some of the last scene that I wrote. Remembering how much I loved it and love it still. There's my doorbell. Oh my goodness. Teddy's going crazy. I'm gonna go get the door. We have 8 minutes and 5 seconds left. Keep writing. I'll be right back. And your girl is back. Is he barking or sneezing? 7 minutes and 7 seconds. Oh, this is what he wanted the whole time. Say hi. Say hello. Okay. Stay calm. Thank you. Need to do some writing right now. Okay. Got 6 minutes and 45 seconds. Good boy. Okay, goodbye. Well tempered. 4 minutes and 25 seconds left. 2 minutes and 33 seconds. I'm starting to mentally prepare myself for that alarm sound because I feel like it's about to go off at any moment. In 1 minute and 22 seconds. Mentally preparing for that sound. Like giving me low key. Ooh, coming. Low key anxiety. Ooh. Okay. I tried to prepare and I still wasn't ready. How? Okay. Thank you. Okay, you guys. So Kendula says, how long will you be live streaming? We are about to wrap up shortly. Like I said, I didn't want to do this too long. We've already been on here for over an hour. So we're going to be wrapping it up. I know y'all got things to do. But hi, Jocelyn. Welcome. Kendula, welcome. 118 words. Samantha, that's not bad. Why the frown face? It's not bad at all. But Jocelyn, you didn't miss it. We're still here. Charity, I deleted more that I wrote and I have the wrong tense in this section. Don't you hate that? Like, what was I thinking? 383 says Callie, considering all the backspacing and interruptions on my end, I'm happy. Yeah, Kendula, definitely just go back and rewatch and you'll see what I said in the beginning. I'm going to be doing these once a month. I'm calling them Write With Me Wednesdays, and it'll be the last Wednesday of each month, so you can plan ahead. And we're thinking either 7 to 8, although with my work schedule, I don't know how that will be, or 8 to 9. You guys let me know which works best for you. I might do a poll or something. You can let me know. Nini 1234200 says 187. I'm okay with it. Good. Let's see. The cerebral hedonist finished the chapter I was working on. Yes, girl. Powered through. But yeah, I was reading through the last scene that I wrote in this play, and I realized that a lot of my concerns with the background history of this town, I had already worked them, well, not all of them, but I'd already worked the majority of them out within that scene. And it gave me more of a realistic grounding of what the town is like in modern day, with this history of being founded by runaway slaves and being off the grid for so long and being a safe haven for others who wish to be off the grid. And then I kind of answered a lot of the questions I had for myself, you know, in that last scene of where the town is today. You know, is it now a part of the society? Does the government now recognize it? and the answers are yes to both of those things. So that was helpful. I'm glad I went back and read through that and also answered some other questions I had about some of the characters, but I won't go into that here. Brandi says 8 to 9 is good for West Coasters. Oh, that's right. Some of you are on a different coast. Okay, we'll keep it 8 to 9 for now. Jocelyn says, to charity, I have been working on my book for several years as well, been relying a lot on backstory. Kendula says, I've been having some struggles. I'm on chapter 3 of my book, but I'm getting there. Honestly, you guys, one thing I've learned is such a roller coaster ride. And when you're writing in between, you know, your day job or night job, whichever applies to you, or another career you may have chosen, perhaps you have children or other family members, pets, you know, partners, friends, having a social life, all these different things that come into play, and you're having to write amongst all of this. I mean, we all wish that we could all just run away into the woods for 5 months and not have any responsibilities, or have to make any money, and just be able to focus on our writing and everything be okay. But that's not reality. Let's see. The Cerebral Hedonist says, I'm working on the second full draft of my book and struggling with being sick. Girl, you have been sick for a while. Are you okay? What's up with your immune system? We got to talk about this later. Text me. Are you okay? Samantha says, I've been struggling with so much over the last few months. Cerebral Hedonist continues, on the plus side, my new boss is super chill with my health issues, so it's been less stressful. Well, thank gosh for that. Let's see. Yes, Queen Chino won 428 words. That's amazing. It's 428 more words than you had an hour ago. I will say that I feel like we are all on the same energy and frequency for this beginning of this year. It has been a lot, right? A lot for most of us. And I'm hoping that the rest of the year continues to unfold in a more positive direction, in a more peaceful and relaxed direction, and that we all find time to work in whatever our writing goals are into our lives in a more beneficial way. Teddy's in my lap, by the way. Big old baby. Kendula, your channel is so fun and inspiring to watch, and I'm glad I'm not the only one. Of course you're not the only one, and thank you so much for the compliment. I'm not going to lie, I have not been as active on this channel recently, and I was actually talking to some of my girls about this. We have a group chat, the girls from my book club. Mini plug, definitely go check out my book club if y'all haven't already. We have 2 lives already on my channel from the book we read for December, Michelle Obama's Becoming, and the book we read for January, which is My Sister, the Serial Killer. Definitely go check out those lives. We're on Goodreads. We have, for those of you that already don't know and are not, you know, members, we're doing good. I'm excited. Me and the girls were just talking about scheduling our live for February's book, which is She Would Be King, and what book we want for March, which is looking like we're probably going to do a unanimous decision and not have a vote and pick. You guys read Red Leopard? What is that book by that Marlon James guy that everyone is freaking out about? And I could never remember the title. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't feel bad. This was supposed to be a writing live stream. Do not feel bad. I'm going to get back on topic in just a second. It's going to bother me. Red Leopard. What is the name of that damn book? Marlon James. Black Leopard, Red Wolf. Thank you so much, because I was about to waste my time looking for it on Amazon. Yes, so I think we'll be reading that for March. Okay, plug over. But I was texting them in our group chat, and we were all talking about how we're all fellow booktubers as well, or creators, whatever you want to call it. And we've been slacking on our channels. And we all agreed that we hate editing. And when you're so busy with work, and one of us is in school full time, editing, like filming a video, is all great and well and dandy, but finding that time to sit down and edit a video is a whole nother story. And y'all, I just don't have it. I ain't got it. I ain't got the time. I hate editing too. I hate the process of it. I just, to my core, I really hate it. And so I'm thinking that I'm going to be doing more lives on this channel. I spoke on it earlier this year and it was like crickets. Nobody really said anything. And then my lives were like my least viewed videos. So it was very discouraging, even though it's not about the views and all that. But let's face it, you still want your subscribers to watch. You want people to watch your videos. I want you guys to watch my videos. So I'm crazy, but I say all that to say that I want to do more lives, and I have so many ideas to just come on here and just talk to you guys about writing, about reading, about life, just whatever is on the dome. Like sometimes it's just very therapeutic to have you guys here in the space and we can interact and talk to one another, and it makes this experience not so one-sided of like I sit at a camera at my house, edit a video, put it out there, you guys watch, you comment, maybe I respond to your comments. More than likely I don't, because life. And it's like I can respond one-on-one live right now. We can have a conversation, we can connect. And to me, that was the whole point of doing this YouTube thing. That's why I like the lives. Okay, so I'm not the only one that wants to read that book that I can never. Black Leopard, Red Wolf. Books and Baking, Bernie 2020. Where did that come from? You just wanted to plug Bernie? Oh, because I mentioned Obama's. Yeah, Becoming is really a beautiful read. And for those who have not read it, please get the audiobook. Michelle Obama's narration is everything. Jocelyn says, I sure want to read, but I'm afraid it'll take time away from blogging, writing, and illustrating. Right? She says blogging, writing, and illustrating. These are facts. Like, it's so hard to juggle this. There aren't enough hours in the day. I'm like, how am I supposed to read all of these books on my TBR, make videos, edit them, post them, write my novel / play / articles for my blog, work damn near 50 hours a week, be sane, sleep, eat, stay hydrated, maybe get a massage, go on walks, still go to the gym, clean my house. Like, how? We need that time turner thing that Hermione had in freaking Harry Potter. I need it. Somebody needs to make that a real thing. Let's see. Kendula says, yes, it's understandable. That's why I try not to get too mad when YouTubers don't upload all the time. I don't, but at the same time, there are YouTubers that are very consistent. And to be honest with you guys, it's either those who are being paid, like they have a lot of sponsorships and they're making money, so they don't have to have a 9-to-5 to pay their bills. And I'm sorry, I have to have a 9-to-5 to pay my car payment, to pay my rent, or I'm going to be on the streets. So these YouTubers that are very consistent, either they're in school, they work part-time. When I worked part-time, I was uploading all the time. They are, you know, in a relationship or partnership with someone where they're not the main breadwinner. I'm telling you, these are things that no one talks about, but they're very real things. And kudos to those who do have a full-time job and can still upload consistently all the time. I don't know where they find their motivation and their drive. Sorry, this sweater is very itchy, but kudos to them. Samantha says, I love watching lives because even if I don't actually catch it live, it's like I'm not alone in my writing and helps me to keep better on track. Same. I love coming to your lives. Thank you. My inconsistencies keep me from posting like I'd like. Yeah, I 100% feel you on that. Queen and Sheena, a total of 740 words through these sprints. I'm so happy. Thank you for hosting this write-in. You are very welcome. I got a lot of it out of it as well. Jocelyn says, I have to get a schedule down. Girl, if that works for you, that will motivate me, because a schedule does not work for me. I can say I'm going to do a schedule and plan for it, and it still doesn't come together. I read at my leisure. It's why I don't like readathons and book clubs, because it makes me feel pressured to read and I can't enjoy the book if I'm rushed. I understand that. And for a long time, I had a love-hate relationship with Goodreads. And I think in some ways I still do, because I feel like Goodreads prioritizes the amount of books read, the speed of reading, this whole thing about recording everything, right? It comes with this social media craze and this time that we live in, where everything must be recorded, every moment, every milestone, or even just the mundanity of our everyday lives has to be recorded. And Goodreads kind of gives me that same vibe of, oh my gosh, you have to write down every book that you're reading. And it started to make me feel that if I read a book and I didn't record it in my Goodreads and it didn't go towards my Goodreads challenge, then it was a complete waste. And it gave me anxiety, low-key anxiety, you know, or if I'm just reading a book and I forget to update on Goodreads. And I read a lot on my Kindle, and there's this feature where you can link your Goodreads to your Kindle and it automatically updates when you finished a book. And I don't know if I like that either. It's just, I don't like the idea of reading being policed, even though obviously Goodreads is a choice. Like, you don't have to do Goodreads. I'm well aware of that. Tell that to myself late at night while I'm, you know, scrambling to finish a book so I can count it towards my Goodreads goal when it's December 31st, before the clock strikes midnight. Plus, my writing comes first. You know, I used to have that attitude of my writing comes first, and I need to get that attitude back. But it's hard. It's hard when you make videos about books. And I can definitely see why the full-time writers on this platform, or even just the writers who have a full-time job and also write heavily on this platform, and by this platform I mean this space, this booktube, authortube space, aren't very consistent with their videos either, because they don't have time to read 10 to 25 books a month. So they're not doing wrap-ups and reviews and things like that because they're writing. So if they read a book here and there, that's what you get. And that's the video you're going to get. Let's see. Ooh, more info on this book. The discipline of doing this will only make you bomb productive in the future. I work full-time in writing an epic fantasy, doing it all on my own. Wow, Brand. Kudos to you. Charity says, after watching the novel Lush's vlog on Black Leopard, I'm not even going to buy the book. It's too much for me. I might change my mind after the book club's review. I'll let you know, because we're definitely reading it. We're all curious, and I want to know what the hype is. I mean, I'm not one to read overhyped books in general, but every now and again, there'll be an overhyped book that just strikes my curiosity. And I'm not willing to wait until the hype dies down to read it. Because usually when books are overhyped, I'm so contrary that it makes me not want to read the book. And I sometimes even wait years after the hype to read it. But this is a special circumstance. I'm intrigued. So I will definitely, not just I, but the book club, we will definitely let you know, Charity, how it goes. Let's see. Kendula says, we don't want you on the street. No, thank you. We got to be safe. And it's true. That is YouTube. Huh? The Cerebral Hedonist said, I kind of feel like Lauren read a completely different book. Lauren and I. Oh, so you liked it. Okay. Goodreads feel like they're going on quantity instead of supposed to what you got out of the book and how much you enjoyed it. 100%. Reading shouldn't be something quantified, if that makes 100% sense. That's the struggle I have with Goodreads. I almost didn't do a Goodreads challenge for this year, but then I also felt this overwhelming pressure to do it as well. And I think that comes from the fact that I do make videos about books on this platform. If I didn't have a platform where I talked about books often, I do not think that I would still be an active user of Goodreads. Outside of my book club, which is, you know, our platform is not just on YouTube, but primarily on Goodreads. Outside of my activity on my Goodreads page for my book club, I do not think that I would be an active user of Goodreads in terms of, you know, quantifying my reading and, you know, recording my reading, because I find it very, very, very stressful and anxiety inducing. For those reasons, you know, the fact that it goes off of quantity over quality, and I do not believe in that. Jocelyn says, I'm with you. This is quite an accomplishment. I have no idea how anyone could read 25 books. People do it, yo. And I used to be one of those people. When I first started my channel, and even just when I was younger, I used to read a lot more. I had less responsibilities, less bills to pay, just less filling up my life. And I was able to read 17 to 20 books or plus a month. And that hasn't been a reality for me for many years now. It's just not sustainable. Now, if I'm on vacation, I remember this one time in 2016, I had this amazing vacation, which was more of a staycation, where I literally did nothing but sleep in, wake up when the sun came through my window, caressing my face gently, took Teddy for a walk, strolled around. There was a trail behind the apartments I was living in at the time. So walk on the trail, through the woods. It was very idyllic, this vacation. And then I would come back to my house, make myself a nice cup of coffee, sit on the couch or go back and snuggle in my bed and crack open a book. Honey, on that vacation, I read 12 books. The vacation was a week long. And you're asking me, how did I read 12 books in a week? Because I didn't do anything else. I wasn't going to work. I was barely leaving my house. It was a staycation for real. So it's possible. And there are also people who read very fast. Like I can read a book a day if I really dedicate myself to it. I've even read 3 books in a day before. And that is from the moment I woke up to the moment I went to sleep, I was reading. Straight up reading. Didn't really have anything else to do that day. Maybe I just stayed in bed that day. We have those days where you can't get out of bed. Am I alone in that? Am I a complete failure at adulting that I have days where I cannot, for the life of me, get up? My day's off, obviously. I'm completely just out of juice, so to speak. And I read one book, finish it. I mean, these books aren't long. They're like 200 something pages. Read another book, finish it. By the time I'm reading okay, like I get like 60% of the way through the 3rd book. Optimistically, realistically, more like 25% through the 3rd book before bedtime. So it's possible. For y'all asking, like, how is this possible? Some people are really fast readers and they got time. I ain't got the time. I do not have the time. Let's see what you guys are saying. Yes, it's like me with Shadowhunters. I wasn't allowed to read it before. Now I want to collect the series. I watched the show. I love it, says Kendula. I used to, in school, when I didn't have problems, reading countless amounts of books. Exactly. You ain't got nothing else to do. 17 to 20 books. It's possible, especially when you have novellas in there, shorter books, graphic novels, comics. I guess they aren't technically books, but Let's see. Samantha says, I need to cut out a lot of the TV shows and social media so I can do the writing and reading thing. I will say this, Samantha. I went on a social media cleanse last summer, so summer 18, for almost, I want to say it was almost 3 months. It was the best thing that I could do at that time. One of the best things I have ever done. Because, my social media of choice would be number 1, Instagram, and number 2, on a much lesser variety, Snapchat. Facebook is not my thing. I do not have a Facebook app on my phone. I do not believe in Facebook. I find it to be creepy and stalkerish that I can find out what's going on in the lives of people that I have not spoken to or seen and don't have a relationship in over 10 plus years. I don't know if anyone else feels the same way. It creeps me out. So I almost never go on Facebook. I do not have it on my phone, so it doesn't matter. So summer 18, I deleted Instagram and Snapchat from my phone. Actually recorded this whole experience, and I don't know if I'll ever post it because it was kind of a mind-fucking experience if I just want to be honest, because it showed me how addicted I was to my phone, how addicted I was to social media, how social media, especially Instagram, I think because it's images, warps our minds and our perception of beauty, of self-image, of the world around us, of current events and what's important, what's not important, you know, and it taught me a lot about my time and how I was spending it, and spending hours scrolling, and how scrolling has become this mindless zombie-like action. And it's almost like your brain checks out and your active, like, cognizant self checks out and takes a back seat, and you become this zombie, and you're just mindlessly scrolling, and you zone out, and before you know it, hours have passed and you've wasted time on this app. And how they created these apps and designed them specifically to waste our time and to get us to spend more and more time on them. They have put scientific thought and research into doing this purposefully. And so, you know, I watched a lot of YouTube videos about it, and, you know, educated myself. And it was one of the most eye-opening summers, because it just broke my addiction to social media, and then taught me how to utilize it and use it for myself, and in an efficient and time, what's the word I'm looking for? Time sensitive, time efficient. I don't know, but just using it in such a way where I'm not wasting my time, and I'm not procrastinating, and I'm being productive, and I'm using it for me. You know, I'm using it to let you guys know that I'm about to go live, or, you know, share what I'm reading, or share my thoughts, or just little minutes of my day for those that follow me and care, as opposed to just mindlessly scrolling through other people's lives when I could be living mine, and writing and reading and going on walks and all those things that I don't have time for. Let's see what you guys are saying. If only we could all be on vacations. I know. Kendula says, and I had the don't want to get up, I stayed home today. The real thing. Brand says, I want to stay in the bed too. I want to be a book glutton to the max. Make it happen. Adulting is tough. It's terrible. Ooh, she the writer in the house. Hey, girl. She says, what's creepier is the fact that people post so much of their lives to begin with. Yes, people post a lot of stuff. I mean, I have watched Snapchats from friends who Snapchat me from the toilet. From the toilet! And if you're guilty of this, it's fine, as long as you're sending it to a personal friend, maybe a personal group. But no, they're posting it live on Snapchat to everyone that follows them. Why? Kendula says, I'm 18, so I'm just getting to the adulthood. Pray for me. You are in my prayers. I deleted all my social media on my phone and changed it to grayscale. They say the bright colors make you more likely to pick it up, and it's really true. I can see that. Some people have bad vibes on Facebook. Okay, if I unfriended so many people about 5 years ago because all they did was use Facebook to complain about their lives. And that was about the time I started to really distance myself from using that social media platform. I was like, get a therapist, work on your mental health. Jocelyn says, some very strange stuff has happened to me through Facebook. I have considered dropping it altogether. You will not regret it. I do not miss Facebook. I go on once every 3 months to 6 months, depending, because all of my extended family is in Nigeria and they're all on Facebook, and that's how we stay in touch in a lot of ways. So they'll send me messages or just chats. So I check in so I can respond. My aunts, my uncles, my cousins, my grandma, they're all on Facebook. And so I don't want to delete it altogether, because once in a while they do reach out to me through Facebook and I want to be able to respond. So that's about the only thing. She the writer says, I stayed away from all social media up until recently. If I had a choice, I'd cut it off, but it's just too good for networking. Honestly, that's why I keep mine. You know, I use it to promote the things that I'm doing and to kind of grow a community and have support, because I am such an introvert. Let's see. Oh my God, blocked like 100 people on Facebook. Facebook is Hey, Lawn Gnome, welcome to the chat. Ooh, Teddy is doing a lot right now. Hi, Tedwood. Hi. Oh, he was crying. I don't know if you guys heard him earlier because he was trying to leave. He was trying to get out of the room. But yeah, so that's my little rant on social media. I highly recommend a social media detox at least a couple times a year, just to retrain your brain how to use it and utilize it and to break the addiction to scrolling and mindlessly consuming content. I think you have to consume content with intention and deliberately. You should never do anything mindlessly. And whenever you have a device like your phone or an app that is encouraging you to consume mindlessly, you kind of have to be aware of that and have enough self-awareness to know that that is not good for you. And that can actually heighten your anxiety, affect your sense of self, your self-esteem, and yeah, so many things. You can do studies, research it for yourself, but social media detoxes are wonderful, including YouTube. You can spend hours on YouTube just mindlessly watching video after video after video after video after video. They call it the rabbit hole of YouTube. Before you know it, you're on some weird video where someone is like knitting socks out of dog hair, and you're like, how did I get here? Am I right or am I right? Yes. They're saying hi to you, Teddy. Mwah. Yellow, yellow. He's so spoiled, y'all. Big baby. All right, well, I'm thinking about wrapping up this live. We've been on here for quite some time. We've been on here for quite some time, and I do kind of want to. YouTube hides subscriptions now. It does. It does. I've noticed that a large chunk of my audience doesn't watch my videos, and I don't think it's because they've suddenly stopped liking my videos. I think it's because a lot of you all, not you all specifically, but you know what I mean, a lot of my audience on here doesn't know that I'm posting. And I've had people even message me and say, oh my gosh, I thought you left YouTube, like I haven't seen one of your videos in a while, and then I randomly decided to go to your channel and I realized that you've been posting and I didn't know, and it's been like 6 months and I didn't know. And I hate that, you know? All right, so we're gonna wrap this up. She the writer, yes, we still need to do our live, okay? I'm working this Friday, but let's actively plan for Friday, March. Let's do this, girl. Fridays work best for me, so you let me know. But Friday, March 8th, I'm wide open. Let me know, girl. Okay. Same with Netflix. I binge Netflix all the time. Notifications on YouTube is wonky. It is. All right, guys, I'm going to get going and let you guys get back to the rest of your evening. Oh my God, he's crazy. Thank you so much for joining me on this live. This was wonderful. It was so great to talk to you all. And Teddy is very distracting. Okay, you gotta go. Okay. Bye, guys. Good night. Good night. I'll talk to you guys in my next live, which will probably not be a writing live, but I'll talk to you guys then. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye. Teddy says good night. I'm gonna go because drive me nuts. Oh, people love you. They love you. They don't know what you're really like. Bye, everyone. Good night, and thank you so much. Okay. We're over and we're out. If I stay here, I'm gonna be here forever. Okay.